All right, guys, good morning. We'll get started here in a moment after I have my sip of coffee. Hope all of you are doing well. It is a bright, sunny morning. Of course, that means talking to you guys and doing laundry. Hey, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. Get it? Dirty laundry, dirty job. Trust me, at the end of this show, I will have a much funnier joke for you guys, and that'll be from my good friend Tim. All right, where's my coffee? Okay, welcome back. This is Total OS today, total technology for beginners and beyond, and some humorous stuff also. This is where I talk about technology, specifically Windows, Linux, Chromebooks, and stuff like that, and some news items. So for this morning, first of all, let me check the stream here, make sure we're in the green. All right, looks good. Okay. Well, if some of you guys had trouble buying a car, and I am still in the search for a replacement car for my son's blown engine on his Lexus, I could strangle his neck. I have to travel 100 miles to find a used Lexus because of where I live. Doesn't that suck? Anyway, CTK Global, a software firm serving car dealerships across the USA, has reportedly paid $25 million ransom to cyber criminals. If you had trouble buying a car last month recently, this is probably why CTK Global, a software firm serving car dealerships across the United States, has reportedly paid 25 big ones to cyber criminals who disrupted its operations and affected thousands of car dealerships. Never, ever, ever pay a ransom, because it just encourages the next guy and the next one and the next one. I get it why they did it. But yeah, so if you had trouble buying a car, this may have been the problem. For me, it's just finding the car that I want here locally, a totally different problem for me. But if you had trouble buying a car, you can blame ransomware and CTK Global. Now my question is this. If there have been 0 reported ransomware attacks on Chrome OS devices such as Chromebooks, why do we still have problems with ransomware? If you, a company, a dimwit, can buy an inexpensive machine and be as 100% safe as possible, why do we still have ransomware attacks? Now, I get it. Some consumers out there just not into Chromebooks. You tried it wasn't for you. There are ways to protect yourself. The number one thing with ransomware, always have backups. And back up again. That way you can continue to use your insecure Windows or whatever you use. And if you get attacked, you have a backup to reinstall the system. Not the most fun way to do it, but it can be done. If you have a Chromebook, I have 2 of them. I don't know what malware is. Like, if somebody says to me, Chromebook and malware, my reply is, blah, 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 blah. I have no, dude, I don't know. You must be smoking something. So, what is the reason? If we have ways to protect ourselves, could it be lack of education, lack of training, or just sheer stupidity? But if this report is true, and I've asked you guys, if any of you around the world have had a malware hit on a Chromebook, let me know. And so far, 0 have replied. I'm not saying it's impossible not to get hit on a Chromebook, but so far, no one has replied, and according to this report, 0 reported ransomware attacks on these wonderful Linux-powered machines. That is simply amazing. So, my question still to you guys, if you have a Chromebook, have you ever been hit with ransomware? Let me know, because you'll be the first. You'll be famous. You and I will be famous. Hey, My friend here, Joey, got hit with the freaking ransomware on the Chromebook. The first time, unbelievable. I'll be waiting for that response. But in the meantime, if you're a nurse, stay-at-home mom, you don't have time to download, install Linux or whatever, or maybe you tried it before, it was awful. I get it. It's a busy world, post-pandemic, getting back to our busy lives. I get it. Or maybe you work 2 jobs, or you don't have time to tinker with things, but you want to be safer. Chromebooks are the most affordable option without spending $1,000. It's that simple. It really is that simple from what I have seen. All right, let me jump here. Let me take another sip of coffee, then I'll jump into the chat, see if anybody's here. It's been a very, very quiet summer here on the channel. That's good. That means you guys are keeping busy with friends, family, or whatever. I'd rather you be with your family than be with me, even though I miss you guys. But it's been very quiet. That is a good sign. I love my Keurig machine. I keep forgetting to get creamer. Anyway. All right, let me jump. Oh, once again, the background music provided by Dad. Thanks, Dad, for the wonderful romantic tune straight from Italia. So let me mosey on to the stream. Again, you can catch these podcasts without ads on the Patreon page, on the Total OS Patreon page. Thank you. We have one surviving member post-pandemic on the Patreon page who supports Total OS. You know who you are. Thank you so much, Mr. Chromebook Master. I would love to have more of you guys on Patreon, but it is what it is. We have in the chat, Cody is in the house. Good morning. How are you? What's new? I think you're in school, right? You're in college, if I recall, or is that somebody else? It's been a while. If anybody else is watching for the first time and has a question, just wants to say hello, this is why I do these things at different times, to let people who don't normally have a chance to say hello to say hello. Anyway, tired, got asked to come into the morning shift. Aha, gotcha. Okay, very good. Yeah, I go in later on today, so this morning thought I would come on for a few minutes, get the laundry done, get it done in the morning as I'm doing my morning stretches. I've noticed if I do my morning stretches, just simple stretches here on the carpet, I have less back issues during the day, walking or whatever. Simple stretches, nothing fancy. I don't pump weights. I don't need more power. Thank you, Arnold. So, Arnold. Yes. Arnold, do you use a Chromebook? Do you? Chromebooks have more power. Yes, they do. Matthew Moore is in the house. How are you, my friend? It's been a while. What's up, mate? Cody, you work the evening shift and live about 40 minutes. Oh, man. So you work and you got to drive 40 minutes each way. Yeah, I had an option to drive to Pittsburgh from where I live to make more money, but then I'd have to buy a newer car that doesn't get 12 miles a gallon. And I thought, with the money I would make, which wouldn't be bad, it would go straight to Lexus for the newer car that I bought. So it really wouldn't be a raise. I would just transfer my paycheck to Lexus Corp. Not that I would complain about Lexus, but I wouldn't gain anything, so I decided to stay here locally. Okay, Matthew says, doing good. Woke up early for Prime. Oh, for the Amazon. Yeah, cool. New smartphone you wanted. There's a new company. I think it's new. Matthew, called New, N-U-U. New phones, and I was looking at their phone prices. Man, they are really, really good for what they offer. So take a look at NUU phones. They are a very fair price for what they offer, like $150 and up. So, I mean, if that price, if all they do was last a year or two and they break, just buy another one. But that's my philosophy on phones. But I currently have Motorola phones. They're great phones, but they're not the fastest on updates. They're actually kind of pitiful, but the phones are good. But I may have to check out new NUU phones. Anyway, so what phone did you get, Matthew? Yeah, Cody says, got to support your expensive hobby. That's technology. Yeah, I understand. Now, if I would have taken the job in Pittsburgh, it would have been approximately, I don't know, $5,000 more a year. But if I bought a new Lexus, that would run me $5,000 to $6,000 in payments a year. So I'm not gaining anything. At least not money in my pocket for the fun stuff like vacations and technology. So I thought, nah. It's like that commercial with the goats, right? Hey, do we have that insurance? Nah. Oh, Matthew, you went with the Moto G Power. Yeah, that's the one with the big ass battery in it. Should last you like 6 days standby or something. Yeah, I got the Moto, the Moto G, no, not the Moto Edge 2022. That works fine, it seems, but the updates are really slow. I'm still stuck on Android. I don't have the latest Android. I should have had it by now, but Moto phones are great, Matthew, but don't expect speedy updates. In fact, they suck. But the prices are right, so, yeah. Matthew, what kind of car are you driving now? My son, in case you didn't know, my son blew the engine on his Lexus RX 350. He drove it with a bad water pump. He had an appointment to get it checked. He decided to take a drive to Pittsburgh. Before dropping off the car overheated, and the Lexus engine said to my son, well, F you too. I lost about $4,000 or $5,000 on a trade. And he did this right before Father's Day. Love you, son. Anyway. Cody trying to save up for a new car. Gotcha. The Cobalt. Oh, man. The Chevy Cobalt. I remember those. Blue and blown head gasket. You have your dad's 205 Hyundai Sonata. Okay, cool. The 24 mod has a smaller battery? Oh. But that's because they had NFC and wireless charge. I guess they needed more room for those components inside. It could be. I prefer more power. Don't really need the 5G. In fact, I shut off the 5G on my Moto Edge. It just got too hot and the signal kept going in and out here where I live. So I don't need the 5G. I guess the NFC is okay, but I still prefer more power. Yeah. Oh, Matthew, you still have the Toyota Highlander? Yeah, I went to look at a Toyota Highlander yesterday for my son downtown. It didn't have a power seat. He's 6'2.5", like me, and he really needs a power seat to get comfortable, so I passed on. But yeah, Highlanders are excellent machines. I've seen those go 300,000 miles or more. My son's Lexus was on its way to 250,000 miles before he blew the engine. He says, Dad, I'm so sorry. I'll never do that again. It was an expensive lesson. I felt bad for him, so I'll tell you something funny. The day before Father's Day, I said, hey, Michael. Yeah, Dad. Tomorrow is Father's Day, so let me take you out for dinner. He started laughing, but... So now I'm trying to find a Lexus for $5,000 versus $10,000. They're out there, but man, it's tough. It is tough. I'd have to go around the 200,000 mile range to find a Lexus versus less than that in miles, but I still trust them. And I believe the 08s and above have timing chains and not timing belts. Anyway, I might go take a look at one Friday. Less technology too. No, don't have to worry about being tracked on your car and ransomware and all that data tracking crap. So yeah. Cody would like a Honda Accord or Toyota Camry. Excellent choices. Or a small pickup like a Ford Ranger. Don't know much about the Ford Rangers. This is definitely truck town here. This is not Lexus town, but there's a few around. But this is why it's so hard to find a used one around here. I'd have to travel 100 miles, about 50 miles each way to get a look for a used Lexus. But yeah, I started the show saying if you guys had trouble shopping for a new car, you can blame ransomware that attack the USA systems, the software that dealerships use to sell cars. And once again, how can this be if there have been 0 reported ransomware attacks on Chromebooks and Chrome OS devices ever? Why aren't companies using this? These aren't million-dollar machines. I don't know why I'm ranting. I'm not being paid for this. This is not a sponsored video. So it's because I care. I really do care. New car tech becomes obsolete way too fast and adds lots of cost. Yeah. Newer cars are disposable. Yeah, and the cost of fortune. Yeah. The prices of new cars have stabilized, Matthew, it seems, but they're still priced probably 15% or more higher than what they should be. The car my son had was an 07 Lexus RX 350. Nothing fancy, just a solid car, as you know. A new one is over $50,000. That's for the cheap one. I suppose if I had a spare $50,000 to spend between the Lexus and the Chevy, I suppose you can't go wrong with the Lexus. I suppose, if I'm gonna do it. I have 2 friends at work, both with GM cars, both engines blown before 50,000 miles. I don't know, Matthew. You know, we bailed out GM and Chrysler back in 2010, and it was the right thing to do. You need to save family lives, family jobs, but these companies haven't learned a damn thing. You're the mechanic, you tell me, but it's a shame. We know how to build them right. Build the freaking things right. Don't build Legos. You know, I can't trust a single used... Okay, I take that back. I trust one used American car I would buy used. Maybe 2 of them. The Buick LeSabre with the 3.8 engine, Matthew, as you know, and the Lincoln Town Car, similar with the Panther body or Panther platform. If I had to buy used today, American, those 2 cars I think I would trust. The 3.8 engines are solid engines. And the Panther platform cars, I believe, were used by police. So if I had to buy used American, those 2 I think I would trust. Besides that, I don't trust anything. It's just the plastic, the shoddy quality, too expensive to fix. Anyway. Yeah, the used car market for vehicles gone down somewhat. They've stabilized. They're still a little high, but not as bad as when the pandemic started, which was insane. You know. I've seen computer prices drop, at least refurbished ones. So that's good, Cody. If you're looking to get a machine, I was looking online for used Ryzen 7 machines. The prices seem to have come down, so that's good. I just hate shopping for cars. I've always had that feeling. It's just, yeah. Once you have it, it's great, but the process of online shopping, looking, shopping, calling, looking, it's time consuming. part of it is where I live. You know, if you want a used truck or a truck, this is yeah, this is where I live. It's not for me. Other than that, yeah. The 3.8 GM engine from there was bulletproof. Yeah, Matthew, yeah. So was the Ford Panther platform. Thank you. But those cars are getting up so old now, hard to sell just because of the yeah, you need to watch these that are now 20-year-old cars, 15, especially here in Ohio, you know, with the rust. Obviously, for any used car, check for rust first. Most of us live where it snows. If the frame is solid with just surface rust, you're okay. Then obviously maintenance records. But yeah, those 3.8 engines are solid engines. Easy to fix. Obviously, they're getting old now, so check for rust. But if the car has been maintained with no rust, I wouldn't mind. I would not be afraid to buy a 2005 Buick LeSabre for my son, almost 20 years old. Yeah, I would not be, as long as it had very little rust, it was maintained like 100,000 miles. I would not have a problem buying it, if as long as the frame did not rot out. Then GM went to 3.6 with the 3 timing chains. I don't get that. Of course, they had reports with stretched timing chains and burning oil. Yeah. Yeah, rust not a problem where you live. Yeah, it can be closer to get to the ocean. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it all comes down to where you live. Here where I live, obviously, close to Pittsburgh, it's bad. You always want to get that checked. That's why when I buy a used car, I ask the seller, can you put it on a rack so I can take a look at it, put it on the lift. If it's surface rust, as you well know, don't worry about it. If it's rotted frame or holes, or obviously don't buy the car. You know, surface rust on the paint, you can wet sand that down and get some spray paint so it doesn't spread. But yeah, frame rust you got to watch. Yeah, my son's 2007 Lexus now getting up the, well, it's down to the garage sitting there. It didn't have a lot of frame rust. Luckily, I have a friend with a garage. He's not charging me storage. He says, if you want to sell it to me, I'll give you a few hundred, like $500 for it, and that's fine. I mean, I don't know how to rebuild an engine, Matthew. But someone who does, it would be a good car, because the car ran flawlessly until the engine blew. But it needs a water pump and a rebuilt engine, and I wasn't trained for it. So, yeah, not a fun summer. But hey, at least my Chromebooks work. No blown engines in the Chromebook. But here, buying a used car, a big issue is flood cars. Ah, Matthew, yes. It's not always obvious in the flood either. Yes, that is true. Really have to know what to look for. Yes, completely agree. That's why you always want to get a pre-purchase inspection before you buy the car, just in case. I had to have the alternator replaced on my car last summer. You know, it used to be you buy an alternator, a good one, for what, $150? $200, maybe $80 labor, and you're done. $500, Matthew, because of where the alternator was and all-wheel drive. They had to jack up the car, remove the right front tire, download schematics, call the Pope, call Einstein, and then it was changed. $500. What are you going to do? And then, of course, the week later, the car wouldn't start. I had to get a battery. Duh. Over $600 to get the car started. It never used to be this way, man, but it's just the way cars are made. All right, I'm finishing up my coffee. I'll stick around a little bit longer. If anybody else is watching, has a question, wants to say hello, please do. I enjoy doing these morning podcasts when I have time in the middle of my exercises or laundry chores. So it's very relaxing for me. So, Matthew, if I may ask, how many miles are on the Highlander? I'm going to guess 247,000 miles. Am I close? Oh, just 100. Oh, still a baby. 133,000 miles for Toyota is a baby. Still a baby. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. One of my friends at work yesterday bought a 2021 Honda HR-V with 10,000 miles. It was a lease turn-in. Yeah, those are the used cars you really want to look for. Low mileage Hondas and Toyotas. Excellent value. So that you purchased it from someone who did all the maintenance at the dealership, service records, since it was new. I knew it was a good buy based on that. Yeah. Carfax records or dealership records, something like that. Definitely the way to go. Yeah. The car I bought is from a family-owned dealership used car dealership downtown, the Saturn Outlook. They stopped making those in 2010. Practically no rust on it. Got a good deal. Once again, around here, buying a used car with almost no rust, it's hard to find. I knew the 3.6 engines are shitty, Matthew. I know they are. I don't have any timing chain issues on mine. No rattling. It does burn oil, but like we said, the 3.6 engines are kind of shitty. Even though it runs good, the car is quiet, but it does use oil. About, I don't know, 3 to 4 quarts every 3-4 months. I'm cool with that, especially since I didn't spend $40,000 for it. With my trade-in, I spend less than $5,000, so. For that kind of money and the car runs good, I can't complain. But yeah, there are still a lot of cars out there. The Traverses, Enclaves, Acadias, with that crappy engine that just should have never been built. They should have stuck with the 3.8. Anyway, not my company. So Matthew, are you still on? Are you using Ubuntu or Ubuntu based or something else? It's all brands, quality slipping. Even Toyota's new Tundra engine is having problems. Really? You haven't followed too much the newer stuff. Again, it's just at some point it's just too much technology. It's like the TV show Knight Rider, the high-tech car of the 80s coming to life, multiplied by 10,000. It's a little bit too much. Now, if that's exactly what you're looking for, then God bless you. But you know, I'm looking at a 2008 Lexus for my son, the ES350, the car. Oh, you're on Debian Stable KDE. Cool. And Windows LS, LTSC, and a VM. Okay. Yeah, Debian Stable. Very solid. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I'm looking at maybe this Friday, I'm looking at a 2008 Lexus ES350 sedan. I believe those have timing chains. Loaded, you know, the dual power seats, Bluetooth, navigation, touchscreen, heated cool seats, backup camera, sunroof, stuff like that. But I don't believe it's a data collector, Matthew. I don't believe that they have data collection like they do today. It's just a high quality car built by Toyota. I think he's asking like 49. It has like a couple 100,000 miles. But for a Lexus, that's not really a lot. I think he's asking $4,900, which seems quite reasonable. Now, I'd have to go up and look at the maintenance records and rust, of course. If all the maintenance has been done, and I have no problem with the car like that. And I believe those, because it is an all-wheel drive, it's front-wheel drive, those are relatively easy, inexpensive to get serviced. Again, timing chain and not a timing belt. Sharp-looking cars, tons around. I've seen quite a few of these on YouTube, 300,000 miles or close to it. So the only thing is here in the wintertime, I probably have to get a couple snow tires for the front tires for the front wheel drive. Other than that, should be okay. Let's see. There's a bill in Congress that just passed. In a few years, new cars will have driver monitoring systems, and it will monitor how you drive and decide if you're intoxicated or not. Oh, wow. If you're intoxicated or not. Okay. As far as the car deciding if you're drunk or not, if it's accurate, yeah, I don't see how that can go wrong, really. If it's accurate, and it's a big freaking if, look, if you're wasted, you should not be driving, right? I mean, I think we could all agree on that. But when is technology too much technology? How do you draw the line? Who draws the line? Right? Yeah. A lot of cars today have push-button start. Great convenience, but what if you forgot your car or your car? Yeah, I forgot my car inside the house. You see what I'm... No, what if you forget your keys inside the house? You leave your home, and then you realize the car warns you forgot your keys as you're almost to work. That's why the backup should be like a 6-digit or 8-digit code that you can punch in on the screen as your backup in lieu of the key. I think that's reasonable, you know. Anyway, yeah, you have to draw the line on technology somewhere. As we all know, technology can be good and bad. I started the show with the talk about ransomware, very bad technology. I don't know, Matthew, can cars get ransomware? Can geeks lock up your car with ransomware? Now watch, I probably gave some hacker an idea. Hey, Toss, thanks for the tip. Yeah, I hate my neighbor. I think I'll lock up his Lexus. I know nothing. I know speak English. I know nothing. I shouldn't laugh. It's ransomware is pretty nasty. It really isn't funny if it's happened to you. I'm just, trying to keep it humorous here, but ransomware, if it's happened, it's not funny and quite expensive. I get it. All right, let me take a quick minute break here and I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, modern tech has made cars easier to steal. You think it would be more difficult to steal. That's the point of more tech, harder to steal. Right? I think my favorite car alarm was in the James Bond movie For Your Eyes Only. He drove a Lotus, the White Lotus. And a couple of guys wanted to steal James Bond's car. And it says on the glass, there was a warning on the car. Warning, dangerous alarm or something like that. There was a sticker. Plain as day, don't attempt to steal it. Well, of course, the guy doesn't give a crap. He takes the butt end of his machine gun, whatever, breaks the glass on the door to steal the car, and the car explodes. All right, that's a bit extreme, but that's got to be the best car alarm. Anyway. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up here shortly, but before I do have a joke to end this. I had a semi-adult joke, but I'll save that for next time. The joke here is, what do you call two worms in love? Soil mates. Ha ha. All right. Is there anybody else watching that wants to say hello or have a question? Then I'll wrap this up. All right, we'll end this with my dad's song called You Are the Most Beautiful, sung by his friend Dario. All the ladies out there, you are the most beautiful. Yes, you are. All right. Matthew, thank you for stopping by this morning. Great to have you here. I know it's been a while. Hope all is well. Cody Lamer, thank you for stopping by. Hope you're not too tired from work. Get some rest if you are. Stay cool during this heat wave. Thank goodness my car has excellent AC in my Saturn. I'll give GM credit for that for now anyway. But man, it's wow. Leave your car parked in the sun, you can literally fry 2 eggs inside the car. I'm surprised that the plastics don't just melt. That kind of heat, it's and these are cheap plastics. I know. I am surprised. Mine hasn't cracked or melt or anything. But man, in this heat, woo, it is nasty. Okay, so those of you who came in late, missed any of this, you can replay this. The headline was Ransomware and car dealership software being attacked by ransomware. And yeah, Chromebooks, no reported attacks on a Chromebook. Nothing wrong with the Saturn, Matthew says. People don't give them credit enough. They were supposed to be a cheap car. But I think that's why. Yeah, they started building these in early 90s, and it was supposed to be GM's answer to Toyota, Lexus, and all that. The cars never quite lived up to the Lexus standard. I think they came close in some model years, Matthew. At least they were trying to copy the Lexus and not the Pontiac. They came close, and the figures after bankruptcy, they got rid of their most reliable division. They should have kept Saturn. I understand dumping Pontiac, but they should have kept Saturn and maybe dump Chevy. But yeah, no, they were I think some model years they had Honda engines, if I am not mistaken. So yeah, but yeah, I mean mine, even with the crappy engine, it runs good, burns oil, but it runs excellent. Never let me down. Well, except when the alternator died, but that's just maintenance there. Yeah, but they definitely should have kept Saturn being built at that separate factory. But they made that decision. I think it was the wrong decision. However, if you're in the market for a Chromebook, that would be a very good decision. How's that for a segue? And yeah, buy a Chromebook, forget ransomware. Yes, the Pontiac Vibe has a Toyota engine. Yes, it's a Matrix. Yes, I did see that. Yeah, a little bit too small for my tall ass, but definitely a good car. Absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to end this here. You guys know how to reach me. We'll do a weekend show one of these weekends. I don't know when to do it because it's summer and people have plans and all that. The last time I tried to do weekend shows, there was nobody here. But I understand, it's summertime, record travel and all this, catching up friends, family. You really should be with your family and not here. So I totally get it. All right, Matthew. All right, Lamer. I will catch you on the next one. So be safe out there and enjoy driving your Toyotas. Ciao.